My goal is to give you guys as much practical value as I can in the 45 minutes we've got. Good to see you. Hi. Jamie's here. Okay, guys. So I'm going to introduce content marketing with my favorite quote from Guy Kawasaki. He puts it this way: if you have more money than brains, do outbound. If you have more brains than money, do inbound. Right? If you can afford it, buy your audience with advertising. But for the rest of us, we need to use content to attract people. By the way, I don't make any distinction at all between content marketing and inbound marketing. Whatever, it's close enough, same thing. So the real distinction is between content marketing and advertising, right? Content marketing is attracting people by helping them make a buying decision. Advertising is interrupting people to sell a product or a service, right? Every ad you've ever seen was designed to interrupt you while you're doing something else. It's annoying. I really don't like advertising. I think it's one reason I don't like it is because as soon as you quit paying, it's gone, right? The advertiser spent money to buy time on radio or TV or space in print or direct mail or something like that. So Jay Baer from Convince and Convert puts it this way: advertising is the hype, content marketing is the help. So that's the big distinction, the hammer versus the magnet. So there are two numbers that matter in your marketing, and everything you do in your marketing should be designed to affect one of these numbers, or it really doesn't make much sense. The first number is the total number of visitors to a website, right? The awareness. How many people come in the top of the funnel? The raw number of total visitors who come in. Then they're aware, they maybe consider us, some percentage of those take action. And the second number that matters is the percentage who act, the conversion rate. Visitors times your conversion rate equals success. And anything times 0 is 0. So you have to, so basically we're going to focus on that. In analytics, it breaks it down into ABCs. Literally, Google's trying to make it ABC: acquisition, behavior, conversion. Anyone here in sales? You call it know, like, and trust. Same thing, right? People buy from those that they know, they like, and they trust. So this is all basically the same thing. So this is how it looks in content marketing. We do 3 things as a content marketer. I've got a laser. We make stuff: blog posts, videos, podcasts, infographics, guides, white papers, all that stuff that we do. We make stuff, and then we promote stuff through search, social, and email, and then we measure it. All day long, every day, that's all we do, those 3 things over and over and over again. That's the job of a content marketer, right? Now, search really affects awareness more than anything else. Google's a discovery engine. People are trying to have their questions answered. That's why they search for stuff. It grows awareness to brands. Some massive percentage of traffic to websites comes from Google. Google owns, I think, they don't admit it, but it's like 89% of the search market right now. Funny how they don't advertise that. Big enough. They don't want everyone to know. Social and email push down a little farther. They strengthen the middle of the funnel because presumably someone followed that brand to make social visible or subscribe to make email visible. And then the percentage of people who act down at the bottom, that's our conversion rate. So again, traffic times the conversion equals success. That's the point. That's the whole, that's how it all works. That's how web marketing and digital works. So everything that we do should really be designed to emphasize one of those things. The problem is, these days, we all do lots and lots of research online, and some big percentage of our decision-making process is made before we ever talk to someone at that company, before we ever enter a sales funnel, before we ever reach out and contact a rep, right? Become a lead. Something like 60% of the buying process, of the decision-making process, is done by the time the person takes an action. So if we don't publish content, someone else will. If we aren't relevant for that topic, someone else will be. The extent to which you do content marketing determines how much you're going to win of that audience's attention next week and next month and next year. And my whole thesis in life is that you can take one piece of content and promote it through all 3 channels, right? I have a new post live today. It's optimized for a phrase. It gets sent out a newsletter tomorrow. I'm sharing it on social, this next week or so. So a single piece of content can get traction in search, social, and email. And the profile, the view of these, the way it looks in your analytics is totally different depending on how you shared it, right? Or how it got out there. If you've ever seen a website that got a big percentage of traffic from social, it looks like this, right? Really hard to predict, lightning in a bottle. You're getting a presentation later today on how to make viral videos. I'm sadly going to miss it. I really want to know because I really have no idea what people are going to share tomorrow. I have no idea. I can't predict social activity, right? Human interaction is really chaotic. Email, I can predict. Probably within 50 or 100 opens, I can tell you how much traction we're going to get from our newsletter tomorrow. Search, I'm going to emphasize search a bit today, guys, because I really think that the upside in the long run is really, really high, right? This is a much longer date range. This is going back years. But if you keep publishing content that answers your audience's questions, content that is aligned with a key phrase, that content will get found over and over and over again. And you can keep adding more and more content to your site. It's like every page has the chance to catch traffic like a sail catches wind. What's the limit to the number of pages you can put on a website? Trick question. There's no limit. You can keep putting more and more pages on a site, answering more questions, aligning content with more key phrases, and it's almost like a passive source of traffic. If I brought up my analytics right now, you'd see all these people reading all these articles, some of which were written long ago. Social and email, much more activity-based. Put your back into it. You're going to get blisters. You got to work really hard to drive traffic through social and email. That's if you stop doing it, you stop getting traffic. That's why I've got those as the oars. Love this boat. Okay, so I want to talk about the content or the topics that your audience is really interested in, because this is one of the next questions, right? What are the things that people need to know before they reach out? Like I said, whoever's going to answer those questions best is who's going to get that attention next week and next month and next year. So this is a hack to find topics. Basically, the bottom line is advertisers are trying to sell. We're trying to help. Advertisers are the hype. We want to be useful. So the point is not to sell stuff. It's to help people make a buying decision. There's two kinds of keywords that people search for on the internet. Some are trying to get more information about their problem. Those are question-related topics, right? Those are question-related keywords. The other is people who know what they want, and they have a presumed solution. They're searching for a product, right? Those are buyer-related keywords. But for the most part, there's many, many more people searching, and there's much more demand for topics that are related to the question, related to the problem, right? It's the difference between why does my sink smell weird and Chicago plumber, right? Every search is basically one of those two things. So the web pages on our site are going to be really about those solutions, right? Those buyer-related phrases. The blog content, the content marketing content, that's related to the question. We want to help our audiences have better lives through advice. And you could think of it this way. It's the content that is, it's the web, if the website is the mousetrap, the content's the cheese. Barry Feldman said this. I love this guy. He's at Feldman Creative on Twitter. I'm a big, big fan of Barry. Got to hang out a couple weeks ago. So if you think about it this way, the traffic, right, the total number of visitors, that's determined by the quality of your cheese. The percentage of people who act, that's determined by the quality of the website. So in other words, it's not strictly true, but web designers have a great ability to affect conversion rates. That's your mousetrap. Content marketers have a great ability to affect traffic. Visitors, that's the cheese, right? And success happens when you put the good cheese and the good mousetrap together. This might be my favorite metaphor. There's three sources of topics, right? Generally speaking, we want to find stuff for keywords, Q&A sites. The ultimate source is listing, so we'll talk about that. He was about to take a picture. There you go. Put 2 words into Google, a question word and your topic word, and Google will suggest things that you might be looking for. It's trying to read our minds based on other people's search activity and what, are people looking, you might be looking for these things if you typed those words in. Which cheese is lowest in fat? Which cheese is better for you? Which cheese is healthiest or has the most protein? As a content marketer, thank you, Google, for the topics that I can write about tomorrow and rank for next week. I'm not kidding. This is an amazing way to read the minds of millions of people and publish this top-of-mind stuff that your audience is asking for. If you put in the next letter of the alphabet, it's going to keep suggesting more and more phrases to you. Ubersuggest, actually I have a new one now, keywordtool.io, even better. It scrapes Google Suggest and gives you tons of topics as if you typed in the next letter of the alphabet. Which cheese can baby eat? Which cheese is best for pizza? What cheese can you eat when you're pregnant? I never would have thought of that blog post. That's not top of mind for me. Question? This one's called Ubersuggest.org. The one I recommend now, though, is actually a different slide I found just the other day. They found me on Twitter and recommended themselves to me. Keywordtool.io. It has more suggestions, and there's no CAPTCHA text. There's no ads on it. Keywordtool.io scrapes Google Suggest and gives you tons of topics for content marketing, for blog content. Suval does the same thing. It just scrapes it from all different search engines. After all, there are, Wikipedia has suggestions. So does YouTube and Bing and Amazon. So the bread and butter keyword research tool for a content marketer is Google Keyword Planner. You just type in words into Google Keyword Planner. It suggests up to 800 words for you, and it shows you the amount of demand for those phrases. What are the most popular topics for cheese recipes on the internet? Turns out it is mac and cheese at number 1 and 2. I never would have guessed this. In third place comes cheese ball recipe. It's hilarious it's literally reading the minds of millions of people. Like, why wouldn't you do that every day? Like, the Google Keyword Planner. It's part of AdWords. You have to log in to get to it. The Google Keyword Planner is really, it's the best resource for finding the real demand for a phrase. And this is half the battle for choosing a key phrase, is to know, are people searching for it, yes or no? I used to pay a lot of attention to the numbers. Now if it's more than 0, I like it. I just target anything. I'm going to be writing tons of articles, right? I'll write 70 articles a year. I don't really worry about the specific numbers. I'm not like micromanaging this that much. Your own analytics is a great source of topics. These are things that people are looking for on your, finding your site for, right? Pecorino Romano substitute. We built a cheese website. I looked at their analytics. I found there were lots of keywords in the query report. This is under acquisition, search engine optimization, queries. And there were just all these different phrases that people were searching for related to substitute. So I added a filter for substitute, and bang, look at all these. These are all substitute cheese-related topics that we're ranking for. We didn't even know it. I had never heard of Pecorino Romano cheese. It's delicious, I hear. It's delicious, they say. It's the substitute for Parmesan, someone told me, right? Okay. It can be. You guys are ready to write this article now. The front row is going to rank for this phrase next week. One thing that this does for us, too, is it tells us our actual rank. You have to go confirm it. It's not always accurate, but that's interesting because look at that one. That's an 11. I love finding 11s. Why? Because that's the top of page 2. I'm almost ranking on page 1. That's right before a tipping point. And with very little effort, I can move from page 2 to page 1. I'll show you a trick for that later. So we always joke, and I always use this line. I wasn't the first to say it. Where's the best place to hide a dead body? Page 2 of Google. Nobody's going there. Yahoo Answers is still around. LinkedIn Answers is gone. Yahoo Answers is all kinds of topics for us. These are Q&A sites. These don't necessarily have any traction in search. We were using search itself to source topics a minute ago. Now we're using social to source topics. This is like a social network, right? So these might be things that you can kind of tell, like, oh, everyone's going to talk about that. That one seems to be stimulating a lot of conversation. Quora, even better. I'm a Quora addict now. Who uses Quora? Wow, that email, I got to be careful when I click on that in the mornings. Like, I get sucked in. The Quora, fantastic. It's a Q&A social network, basically. You can follow people there. You can follow topics there. Cheese is a topic, can be followed. Which cheese skins can you eat? So we put in cheese in Quora, and there was all kinds of different cheese-related topics, right? I'm hacking the internet for demand to decide what to write about, knowing that I can get traction for these topics in search, social, and email. Listening is the ultimate source of topics. Listening is the ultimate source of topics because your audience is already asking you questions. Your audience wants to know. They're talking to you about it all the time. The problem is salespeople and customer service people don't have that little trigger in their brain that says, wow, why don't I publish that? That's the 4th time I've answered this question. I've written that email 6 times. Why don't I put that on the blog, right? So as marketers, we have to, not this, but steal the laptop of your salesperson and like kind of get in, like hack into their mail and like find those answers that they're giving to people. Because that is literally your audience asking you the questions right there, right? Everybody's email outbox is filled with blog posts. Go publish them. Go answer those questions online, right? Social media marketers have a saying, you maybe have heard this, you're all social marketers. Never waste a good conversation by having it in private. Unlock your outbox, right? Get that sent mail stuff off of there and put it on the internet because someone is asking that question. For everyone that asked you that question, there's probably 50 people who had the question and asked the internet and they found someone else's answer, not yours. Be the best answer. Be the Wikipedia for your industry. Publish all this stuff because your audience is asking for it, right? They're making 60% of that buying decision before they contact you. So you have to put that stuff out there. Your outbox is full of posts. I have a friend who, Dina Goldesich, her name's cut off. She has a company called Well Planned Web. They're in Tampa. This is a brilliant tactic, and I stole this slide, and I always give her credit. But she basically asks her client's client to tell stories, right? She interviews the end client, and then for an hour, and then she transcribes it, the customer's stories, and then she starts tagging it like it's a database, and then she starts repurposing it into all different formats. And she will take 1 hour conversation and turn it into 2 white papers, 3 case studies, 11 testimonial quotes, 10 external emails, 9 blog posts, and 2 infographics. That's like black belt content marketing. I love this lady. I got excited. I jumped out of my seat. I'm like, wow, that's it exactly. It's perfect. not only is it a great source of stuff and it's kind of created for you, but it's more authentic than anything you could write. When you say it, it's marketing. When they say it, it's proof. It's social proof, right? This is some of the best stuff that you'll have on your site. I'll show you how to use it in a minute. And beyond topics, there are formats. And if you ever wrote something on a topic that did well, just take that and put it in a different format, right? We could make this into a video. Right now this is a presentation that could be repurposed into a video. We could record this and make this a webinar, pull out the audio track, make that a podcast, transcribe that, right? And we could take some of these topics and publish it into articles, share it as tweets, make a PDF downloadable version. Take little things and combine them, right? Take big things and atomize them. That's my periodic table theme. The stuff on the left is not always on your website, generally not. The stuff on the right is on your website. Stuff at the top has a short half-life or lifespan, and the stuff at the bottom lives a long time. That's the periodic table of content, which, by the way, it was a really successful post, so we repurposed that and eventually used the theme to make an entire book, right? We wrote a book called Content Chemistry, and it's right down there. Good to see you. This is a terrible website. This is a website that lacks empathy. This is a website that is what happens when you think of your audience, and it's a group of people saying, what should we write about? And they wrote about recipes and chefs and entertaining, and they've got this thing over Cheese 101, Cheese Cyclopedia, the glossary of cheese terms. What is the strategy for this? It's all over the place. You can't even tell what it's about except for the picture, really, right? You got to dig in. Compare it to this site. This is the Grilled Cheese Academy. And this is the greatest website on the topic of grilled cheese on the internet by far. This site makes me hungry. This site is what happens if you're thinking as your market. Again, empathy is the greatest web marketing skill, right? Whoever does the best job of putting themselves in the mind and the heart and the shoes of their audience is the one that's going to win that attention, win that traffic, win those conversions, right? Earn it. So this is thinking of the market. This is thinking as the market. By the way, this site ranks #1 for the phrase grilled cheese. 4,400 searches a month. This site will always rank #1 for the phrase grilled cheese. I can't imagine anybody becoming the better answer on the internet for the topic of grilled cheese. They own it, right? They won. Okay, guys. In the next 4.5 minutes, I'm going to explain to you how Google works. That's exciting, right? Just imagine all those geniuses there. They have 2,000 math PhDs, and Andy's going to tell us about it in 4 minutes. It comes down to this. Google is the mean girl in high school. You can get her to like you, but not directly. You've got to get everybody else to like you first, and then she'll like you. The legend has it this came to Larry Page in a dream, right? I picture him sleeping in his mom's basement somewhere in Michigan, and he wakes up and like, oh, I got an idea. Maybe web pages are credible or not based on what's happening on other websites. Maybe it's not the page itself. Alta Vista and Lycos, I did SEO in 2000, right? It was so spammy. It was all about just cramming keywords in and try find the right mix and look like you're really relevant, but not too relevant because you're not trying too hard. So Larry Page made this search engine called Backrub, later it became called Google, and he basically looked at the popularity of sites on other sites, looked at the mentions and brand mentions and link popularity, right? The links from other sites to a site to determine whether that site's legit, to determine whether that site is rank worthy. That's the main factor in Google, regardless of what everyone else tells you, whatever you read on any blog post tomorrow. Trust me, this is still the primary factor, right? This is why Google won, why they build cars that are going to, self-driving cars that'll take you to the moon, and why they made $54 billion last year in search, in advertising. Largest advertising company in the world. So basically, this guy is talking about this guy, and that makes this guy credible. That's what the arrow is, and it's really just basically a mention or a link. If a lot of sites link to a page, a lot of pages link to a page, that page gets a lot more credibility. By the way, Google does not rank websites. Google ranks web pages. Remember the boat, right? Any page has the chance to be aligned with the phrase and become relevant for that topic. And by the way, before you guys think I'm a spammer, my ultimate rule for SEO is to make the best page on the internet for the topic. If you do not make the best page on the internet for that topic, you do not deserve to rank. None of this stuff will help you, or it certainly shouldn't. But you need a lot of little guys will make this page credible. If this was high school, these were the geeks that sat at my lunch table, right? Or one really credible page likes you. This is how it really works. That's when you become much more credible. A site with lots of incoming links itself passes much more credibility. That's why PR people need to understand this, or they waste huge opportunities to drive credibility to their client sites, because they're always right? Talking to the big, credible websites, the high schools, homecoming queen. But then again, oh, that homecoming queen, she likes everybody. It's worth less, isn't it? Right? That's how Google defeated link farms. If there's 50 links coming out from this page, the total value of those links is divided by 50. So the ideal, the pages that pass the most credibility are those that have many incoming links and few outgoing links. OK, so it's quantified somewhere in a server at Google, right? But we don't really have access to that, so we have to use a proxy measurement to help us figure out our own credibility based on the quantity of sites that link to us and the quality of sites that link to us. Remember? The number and the size of that circle. So Open Site Explorer is a search engine of links. It's built by Moz. Put your site in there. You can use this for a few times per day at no cost. If 2 or 3 of you have already done it, you just killed the network here, and now no one else can use it for the day from this network, unless you log in. This is the only tool that we really pay for. It's $100 a month, Moz. It does many other things. It tracks rank. It does helps research keywords. But basically, Open Site Explorer is almost like a separate tool. And it just tells you your relative credibility on a scale of 1 to 100. They call it domain authority, based on the number and the quantity and quality of other links of other sites that link to you. So once you understand, and by the way, the Google term for this was PageRank. But we don't ever get data from them anymore on that topic. They quit updating the PageRank data inside the Google toolbar, and so now it's just really old, and never mind, it doesn't really, we just have to use this. And it correlates very highly with rankings. It's not just the domain, that's my general domain, but this specific page, which happens to be the home page, the correlation between PageRank, or a page authority, and high rankings is 0.39. That's a statistical correlation. Number 1 and -1 are perfect correlation. So this is a higher correlation with rankings than any other analysis that we can do of web pages. So anyway, this is a domain authority, and you should know yours. And then there's another place to get this data. It's called the Moz bar. The Moz bar gives you this data for every site that ranks in Google as an overlay. This is the overlay for a phrase, dog leash. The domain authority, the high-ranking pages for dog leash, are 78, 99, and 92. I am not going to win for this phrase unless I'm a very famous website, right? That's literally PetSmart, Amazon, and Walmart. Pick your battles. You're going to lose that one unless you're a famous website, right? So let's try another phrase. Black leather dog leash. Now look at the domain authority. 46, 51, 41. Now I have a chance. I might have a chance. If I'm in the 40s or something like that, right? There's other factors. There's 200 or some search factors. Now I have a chance. So basically, the less credibility your website has, the longer, more specific, less popular phrases you must target if you want to win. That's kind of the main thing. That's one of the main things about SEO that most people just don't get. Most people just, they kind of, they say, oh, someone's searching for it, or I found the topic and suggest, or I'm going to use this, and they just publish stuff and it doesn't really work and they never really know why. This is the main reason why. Think of it this way. If you're on a bicycle, you are going to lose the Indy 500 every time. You're never going to win that race because you're on a bike, right? Tour de France, maybe. Got a chance. Marathon? Absolutely. You're going to win every marathon, right? Pick your battles. It's not fair. So don't pretend it's fair. Just you can win for any phrase that you have enough credibility to rank for. So 2 other things about this. One is this is a logarithmic scale. This is exponential, this curve, which means that, again, remember, if the homecoming queen likes you, you get much more credibility from that. You get a lot more credibility from authoritative domains, right? The other thing about this is it's easier to get from 20 to 30, right? You could do it probably within a month or 2 if you're just doing search savvy PR, than it is to go from 60 to 70. My domain authority right now is like in the mid 60s. I might never get to a 70. Kind of resign myself to that. The sites that are in 70 and above are usually like big time, like daily blogs, like they produce tons of content, like big multi-author blogs or famous brands. One other note before I leave this slide, I want to make this point. A great content marketer is not ever limited to their own site. That's really narrow-mindedness, right? You should write for any site. 2/3 of the stuff that I write, I put on other people's websites. I'm constantly writing and pitching ideas to the biggest, most famous websites I possibly can. You get a link back from that, if nothing else in your bio to your brand, to your homepage. And sometimes, there's other places where it makes sense in a non-spammy way to refer back to other content you wrote within the article. Plus, you can rank for phrases that you would never have a chance for because you're basically borrowing someone else's car or helicopter. I think this slide needs better icons. Okay, now we're going to get into more of the advanced SEO. I want to show you guys how to find those posts that almost rank high. I'm going to go through step by step, and this is going to look a little technical, but there's a slide at the end where you can take a picture, we'll share the slides, and just ask, hope we'll have these posted somewhere. So if this is going to go a little fast, but I'm sort of just introducing concepts, and then the step-by-step stuff is all published everywhere. It's on my site, and it's in these slides. Okay, a top content report shows you all the pages that get how much traffic. And if you've been blogging for any length of time, you probably have like weird blog posts, sometimes old blog posts that just get tons and tons of traffic. Why does that work? It's because they have this long tail, this relevance in Google that gives them lots of visitors over time. We have posts that get read 100 times a day because they rank for a popular phrase. It makes them champions of traffic, right? This is good cheese. You get a spike of traffic from email and social, right? And a couple little tails from social here. But that getting discovered long term is what gives you that long curve you saw of traffic from search. So if you go to the search engine optimization queries report and analytics, and then put in an advanced filter so that you're seeing just the phrases for which you rank high on page 2, you can see you're almost ranking on page 1 for all these phrases. That's really, really useful information because a little effort can get me a lot more traffic, right? The difference between page 2 and page 1, it's like 300 or 400% visibility, right? It's a lot more. So these are things where I could then go optimize those. Here is the step-by-step. Back up the truck. Search engine optimization queries, average filter, or the filter is include average position greater than 10 is what the filter looks like in Google Analytics. Sort by average position, confirm the rank. You got to go search for it because that's average position. That page might be, it's an average of maybe different rankings. Sometimes something will, you'll rank in images and something else or different places. So you got to go look for it. And then you can indicate the relevance just a bit better, which means using the phrase in a couple of simple ways. Nothing spammy here. We want to use it in the title, the header, and the body text. And why don't we make some links to it? We'll pass some of our own credibility from this page to that. The title is it's not on the page, right? You guys know where the title is? Your title tag? It appears above the address bar in Firefox. It's in the tab in Chrome. It's in 40+% of cases, it is the link at Google. When someone you click on a link in Google, right? It often becomes the text you see in the tab, right? This is not there anymore. Google authorship is gone. So put the key phrase once at the beginning of the title. Brand last. Help first. Hype second, right? That aligns with our philosophy as content marketers. We're trying to help people. So put that key phrase once at the beginning. The worst title tag for a homepage is home because it doesn't say anything. Google was invented by library scientists. They snuck up on us, right? Wow, who knew library scientists were going to take over the world? I had no idea. I wish I thought of that. Like, I was in college at the time. I could have studied that. If Google was a library, right, what's the worst name for your book? Book. Don't call it book. No one's going to find it, right? You put it, Similarly, the worst title tag for a homepage is home. The single most important piece of SEO real estate on a website is the homepage title tag. That ought to be the business category, right? Chicago Web Design and Development, Orbit Media. That's a key phrase rich, topic focused title tag. Brand last. Put it in the header. The key phrase goes in the header. My hack for writing headlines is to put the target key phrase first, then use a colon, and then put the number. Competitive analysis tools, colon, 9 tips for spying on the competition. I'm trying to combine search and social, right? I need that psychological hook. The psychological hook here is squirrels. This is an article where you're a cat, and it's like, should I go after the dog? No, that's too competitive. Should I go after the little bird? No, it's not enough to eat. I'm going after the squirrel. It's a metaphor for competition and search volume. Yeah, it's kind of silly. But that's the idea. Keyword, colon, psychological, something like that. But put it once in the header, put it in the beginning of the header, I recommend, and then put it in the body text. If you made the best page on the internet for the topic, you probably wrote 2,000 words at least, right? You wrote 1,500 words for sure. You chose a good topic, right? Now just go back and make sure that you use the phrase. I don't really count. I don't measure. I know people that are like, they take the total number of words in the article and they divide by the instances of the key phrase and they calculate keyword density. It's like, wow, that's like intense. Like I'm not that big of a, I'm not going to micromanage it. I just want to make sure that I'm indicating relevance. This is all totally in line with Google's own webmaster blog. It's everything I'm telling you is stuff that they recommend that you do, right? If Matt Cutts, the head of web spam at Google, was in the front row, I would say everything I'm saying to you now. None of this is weird or sketchy at all. Don't be too aggressive in your keyword usage. That's the problem, right? We won't recognize your own content. It's like half for robots, half for humans. Like, what is that thing? It doesn't read right at all. It's like, I use the phrase, I got a client, they do LED retrofits for lighting. Like, this guy wrote the worst paragraph I've ever read. Like, how many times can you put that LED? It's like so obvious it jumps off the page. Not good. It's like that guy. Hashtag bear shark. Okay, I did this for a client recently, and I'm telling you, this is not an exaggeration. It was about a 5-minute round trip. He came in, sat down, we ran that report, advanced filter, found the phrase, he's ranking high on page 2, changed his title tag. Definitely less than 10 minutes. I get this email a week later. Hey, Andy. Thought I'd let you know we're ranking on page 1 in Google for phrase X and Y. It's the bottom of page 1, but we still moved up 5 to 7 spots. That's an email I got after I did this with a client. It's not that hard. Everything is, follow these slides, go do this, I'm serious, you're going to get a ton more traffic right away. That's why they call it search engine optimization, because you're going and making something better. I think that's why they use that word. That's the point. Getting fired up. Okay, everybody knows this. When you write something, you link to other stuff from there, right? Go link to your other, you wrote a great article on that other topic. You mentioned it, link to it, of course, right? How many bloggers do this? If you write something, go find old stuff and now link to the new thing. Very few people do that, right? Almost no bloggers do that. They don't think of it. But you might have some traffic champions, right? You might want to drive people to this page. So just search your own site, Google, thank you, site : web address, space, quote, keyword, end quote. There are 27 pages on my website that mention keyword research. Yeah, at least 3 or 4 of those are opportunities to link to my new article about keyword research. You are not done promoting a blog post until you have linked to it from older posts. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The report of broken dreams. Okay, who has a site search on their website? A box where you can search the site? Okay, as long as that works on your site where there's when you search, you see the search term in the address bar. The little character before that is called your query parameter. You need to tell analytics what your query parameter is so that they can suck that data out of the address bar, out of the URL. And now you get this report called site search terms. This is a travel client of ours. These are all phrases people are searching for on their website. There's a little box up there. Oh, you can't see it. There's a box up there for secondary dimension. It's a way to add more data to a report, like a matrix. I want to add another report to this report and see another column of data. Secondary, oh, there I showed it. The secondary dimension in this case I want to add is exit page. This is incredible information. Combine exit page with search terms, and you will see a list of phrases people are searching for and the ones where they didn't find anything. They left on the search results page. The report of broken dreams, right? People are not finding this word. They're leaving. So that's like an analytics hack that anyone can use that'll quickly help you decide maybe what to publish more on, right? Or make that content more prominent. Or rename your navigation, right? Or call something what people are calling it. Use it in your labeling, use it in your content. Make sure that the things that people are looking for, that you actually got something to help them with, right? Remember, they're one click away from every other site on the internet, so we don't want to lose them. Okay. So we've got better cheese, and we're going to attract more visitors now. Now let's work on the mousetrap and maximize the percentage of people who act on our website. Maximize the conversion rate, right? The whole point is when people do something. So to optimize for subscribers, here's an example from my own site. The Orbiter. We like to share our thoughts about web strategy, usability, keyword, yawn, I'm sleepy, no thank you. That's just bad. It's like long, it's boring, it's not on the same page. So we tried this. Stay connected. We joined the 7,500 people who receive bi-weekly web marketing tips. Enter your address, sign up. 1,900% increase in subscribers. Not surprising, because It's very prominent. It's a big red box. It's the only thing on the page that's knocked out color-wise. It's light on dark, right? It promises you something. What are you going to get? You're going to get web marketing tips. How often? Bi-weekly. And we give evidence that we're legit. There's social proof here. There's 7,500 people who subscribed. It's now 8,000 people who've subscribed to this list. If you don't give people a reason to take that action, why would they? Go look at your site. If there's like a little box at the bottom of every page that says email, sign up, submit, ask yourself, like, wouldn't it be weird if someone did that? It would be really weird if someone signed up for your newsletter because you gave them no reason to. You didn't tell them what they're going to get or how often, or you didn't tell them that it's even that other people are doing it. There's no proof or evidence that it's real. By the way, side note / side rant, I used to think that it was good to brand everything in life. I'm beginning to think that brands just don't matter. People don't care about brands. I don't know. Is it just me? I care about my problems and interests. Everybody cares about themselves a lot, like probably a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, right? People want to solve their problems. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I care about a brand relative to that? I don't know. Of the millions of brands I've connected with in my life, how many could I say that I love or really care about? I don't know. I don't have any. That's just a thought I had the other day. I don't think branding is really that important to our audiences. It's not what we think it is. Everybody thinks branding is the holy grail. I'm sorry, but our audience is really just trying to solve their own problems. Whoever helps them solve their problems best will win. So it's not a call to action. It's a call to conform. That's the point of social proof. I often get this question, what if I don't have a ton of subscribers? If you have one subscriber who liked one email you sent and you've got one testimonial quote, put that on there. But don't ever build a site that doesn't have some evidence of legitimacy. This is Jay Baer again, right? I think he redesigned his site. But look at all the proof down here. And the language, get one social thing. So simple, right? You know what you're getting. Here's the worst email sign-up form in the world. 22 fields, 20 of them are required. And it asks you how much money you make and where you went to college, more jobs you do. You need to get out a spreadsheet to even figure out how to subscribe to this email and look at your QuickBooks or something. This is the worst sign-up form ever. Nobody ever signed up. I met the company. What are you asking all this stuff for? Well, we're going to do some analysis and figure out this stuff about our audience. Okay, how's that data collection going? Nobody. They had 0 sign-ups. They've since gone out of business. It's actually a sad story. So if you find your conversion champions and connect those to the traffic champions, we're going to make some money. So here's another report. I love this one. It's the reverse goal path. This is the goal. Visitors made it to a thank you page. This is what they were doing right before the goal. And I've got it filtered to show just blog posts. What were people doing right before they subscribed to the newsletter? Oh, they were reading this post and this post and this post. At what rates? Right? They were reading them the 28, 26, 26. So this is actually showing me how many people subscribe to the blog from which blog post. Which of my posts are how compelling? Now, it's not enough data because I have to figure out the conversion rate is what matters, the percentage. So if I look at the number of page views, I can see how many people actually read those posts. Put it in a spreadsheet and figure out the number of, divide the number of views by the number of conversions, and I can actually find the percentage of people who subscribe to the newsletter per blog post. Some of these posts are way more compelling than others, right? I've got content on my site, even in the top 10, I've got content that is what is that, 6 times more people are acting from it? More than that, maybe? I can't do math. If this went down to the 200 blog posts on our site, there are literally posts that are 100 times more compelling than others. I've got mouse traps that catch 100 times as many mice as others, right? So now if you know that, and here it is in slow-mo, conversions goal, reverse goal path, blah, blah, blah. There's another advanced filter to show me just the blog. Sort by goal completions, export to Excel, divide one number by the other, make a spreadsheet, you find your conversion rate. The percentage of people who acted per blog post. Now, drive some traffic to it. You're all social media marketers. You can share anything you want tomorrow, right? You can tweet to anything you want. Who woke up this morning and scheduled some tweets today? Yeah, you just randomly chose them? Drive traffic to the stuff that's compelling. Push people toward the things where they're likely to act, right? Remember, some of these are 100 times more compelling as others. So heavy rotation on social shares. This is just a brain dump of just random ways. to drive traffic. Put it on your homepage slideshow. Put it in your email signature. Who's got a gift, like one of those cards in the back of a drawer that's like $100 of free Facebook ads, or Google ads? Yeah, buy some traffic to it. Why not? Write a guest post, link back to it, include it in a roundup, link to it from other high traffic pages. Isn't that the goal? Connect the good mousetraps to the good cheese. You've got traffic champions. You've got conversion champions. Get these guys together. Good things will happen. Okay, back to social proof. We make claims on our websites. We're marketers. And there is evidence that we are legit. Testimonials, statistics, association memberships, awards, anything like that, right? This is all proof. Testimonials especially, really easy. A lot of people just get them, you get them and you throw them in a folder and you're going to use them someday, right? Definitely, you've got quotes. The problem is, a lot of people, they don't put the proof next to the claim, right? Everything you do smells like marketing. Everything that they do, it's actual social proof. What a lot of people do is they make a separate testimonials page, but visitors don't go there. Never make a testimonials page. That's a bad idea. Look at your analytics. Visitors are not going to testimonials pages. That feels like sales, right? You're pitching to me. Make every page on your site a testimonials page. That's much more compelling. That's going to get way better results. It was not hard to find an example of a testimonials page. I'm glad I remembered to use the slide where I fuzz out the name. You guys would be tweeting to them like, Andy's ripping on you. I'm a big believer in video. Compare this text. Regardless of your age, if you're searching for the answer to the question, what do I want to do when I grow up? Then you're not alone. Compare that to this.
Regardless of your age, if you're searching for the answer to the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? You are not alone. Survey after survey shows that the majority of working adults wish they could start over in a different career.
I just want to hire her, like right then. Like, do you feel the difference? I don't even want to, it's like a show don't tell moment. Like, video is really, really powerful credibility builder. Video does not increase traffic, I'm sorry. There's very few examples of how you can use video to drive more traffic. Again, presentation later today, rare example. Video is very powerful at maximizing the percentage of people who act. So I'm a fan of that. And speaking of actions, subsequent conversions, a lot of people have web pages at the end of the process that just say thank you. I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have it now. The thank you page at the end of the process, the end of the rainbow, we were successful, great, good job. It just says thank you, and that's it. It might as well say goodbye. You're basically telling your visitors to leave if you have a thank you page that just says thank you. You're not giving them any option. So what we did is we put a little sign-up form at the bottom of our thank you page that lets them take another action. Maybe now we don't mind if they leave the site and go to a social network. But here's the subsequent action. We get hundreds of people every year that sign up for our newsletter from that thank you page. Go look at your site and try to find every dead end and fix it. Every blog post that just stops without a call to action, or every service page that just kind of peters out, and hopefully they'll find ask a question, make a suggestion, give them a call to action, like give them a reason to act. It's much more powerful. And so where there's traffic, there's hope, right? The whole idea is that people are coming from these places to our site, some small percentage act, and a visitor might be a blogger. They might link to us, making search more effective. They might subscribe to us, making email more effective, or they might follow us, making social more effective. The whole idea is to keep the visitors flowing, right? Keep the actions happening. Where there's traffic, there's hope. We really want to keep people on our site and keeping them taking those actions. So we are wrapping up. You want me to do one more slide?
You can do one more slide and 2 questions.
One more slide and then 2 questions. This is a rant. It's very short. Here's an example of a website. It's a modern website, clean gray design, blue logo. Blue, purple, and green are cool colors. Red, orange, and yellow are warm colors. Warm colors and cool colors stand out against each other in design, right? The eye is the biology of the human eye. We scan for pattern interrupters all the time. What are the warm colors here? Pinterest, YouTube, and Google+. Lots of people have websites with these in the header. Do you really want someone to click that? Remember, where there's traffic, there's hope. If they click that, they're gone, right? There's hundreds of friends there and millions of cat videos and stuff about your shoes I might want to buy. Do you really want someone to leave your website and go to a social media network? The click-through rate from YouTube to company websites is 0.7%. That's abysmal. So that was a puppy video that basically, we don't have to play it, don't ever send your visitors to a website with this puppy video. They're not going to come back. So we'll leave it on that note. But basically, what I want to do is keep people on the websites. I don't want them to leave. I want to keep the visitors flowing. I want to find my really compelling content. I want to find my traffic champions. I want to combine those. And bottom line, we want to make stuff that attracts our audience. We want to be the best answer. We want to be the Wikipedia for our industry. We want to know what the questions that our audience cares about, publish content on that topic. That's what's going to make us relevant. That's what we're going to rank for. That's what people are going to share. That's what we're going to sign up for to get more of in newsletters. We want to help. We don't want to do the hype. And that's how we'll win next week, next month, next year. So 2 questions. We want to do 2. 2 quick questions. Best questions are those that are relevant to everybody. So if you're a Chicago plumber, don't ask a plumbing question. There's one.
How do you feel about putting your business name at the end of every page in your title tag?
When we build websites, we have it do that by default. It's actually a perfectly fine idea. But keep in mind, Google will truncate that if it's longer than 59 characters. The ideal title tag is 55 to 59 characters. Beyond that, you just get the ellipse. She's got a quick follow-up, maybe?
Why not put a second keyword phrase instead of it? I understand. Other people have said the easiest term to rank for is your own business name. Why would you waste that opportunity?
Well, you should rank for your business name anyway, no matter what.
That's what I mean. So why put it on your all your title tags?
Just brand.
I really don't.
Actually, I don't think it helps or hurts, honestly. It's just best practices. A lot of people do it. They want their brand to be known somehow, indicate that they're a company. But no, the best title tag is one that just starts with the best page is totally focused on a keyword, and that keyword should appear at the beginning of the title. I wouldn't even put a second keyword in there. I would just make one keyword and make the highest percentage of that title tag be the keyword as possible. One more question? Up front.
With old content that's been out there 2-3 years that only gets 4 or 5 visitors a month, should it still stay up on the site, or should that content be removed?
I would never remove any content from any website, almost ever.
5 years old.
5 years old, doesn't matter. I mean, it's just, Amazon actually has never removed any pages from their site ever, I don't think. Someone told me once, Amazon, every page that ever existed on Amazon is still there. If you remove, what if there was a link to it and you removed it? You lost that, right?
Correct.
You broke it. You broke the link.
Redirect.
But then you lose some of the value, right? Redirects don't share 100% of the value of the link. Probably 10 to 20% of the value of the link is lost through a redirect. But no, I never delete content. I don't remove things from websites. I believe that every page should stay on that site, and if it's actually an opportunity to go back and improve the page if it's still getting traffic. So anyway, there were some topics we didn't get to, but we're going to share these slides. This is the book. This is a template. If anyone wants to get my template, just give me an email address. I'll share it with you. It's a Google Doc. It forces you to think about search and social and email as you write.